This is the lighting arrestor, long sheets. We have special clamps to address to put a lot of equipment on top without puncturing the roof in most of the cases. So this is what you've done at Tetra Pak. Now also you can use solar on the roof with these clamps which you have. Metal roof is used a lot of places to use solar on top. Now you see your mistake over here. What I want to share with you is that this is my experience. They've used color-coded roof over here, and the solar. You cover the roof with the solar. You don't need to use a color-coded roof, because you can use bare gallium. You save about 100 rupees a square meter since it's going to be covered by solar. Another thing which I want to also share with you all is that normally when people put solar on the roof, they go for a weak roof. See, the solar life is about 25 to 30 years. So roof also has to perform till 25, 30 years. Otherwise, what happens if a solar is laid on top and your roof leaks, then you have to remove the whole solar, repair the roof and put back the solar. So you'll have to design both of it together. I've seen a lot of people, they put solar on very weak roofs and then the roof leaks, so then it becomes a problem. So removing the whole solar again is a problem. In USA, I've seen, my friend sells solar. He was saying a lot of roofs, first they talk about repairing the roof, which is very high, and then they're putting the solar. Because the solar guy gives a 25 to 30 year warranty of the solar system. So very important that the roof life has to be as much as the solar. This is how it looks. Warranty, I just want to say, warranties, normally people in the trend in the industry is they'd ask only for 1 year warranty. They use a standing seam roof, they use an aluminum roof, people don't ask. So warranties should be very important when you specify in the tender. If you should ask for a 5 year warranty or a 10 year warranty, then what happens, all the design factor comes into the picture because the installer has to give warranty. So if you don't put in a warranty, then you use any roof, it's no value. You must put in a warranty on the tender. The material warranty, in most of the airports, we give 25 years warranty and 10 years warranty for leakages. I have give for factories, we give 10 year or 15 year warranties for the material and the performance of the roof. So this is very important. So when you give the warranties, then the designing also gets into it. Otherwise, it's natural designing. They don't concentrate because you have to give warranty. So you see that every detail is adhered to. So this is what I just want to share this with you. Some of the projects which you have done, I'll run through. I'm still fast. I think I have 8 minutes left. So this is the international airport which you have completed. 55,000 square meter of very complicated roof which you have completed. This is how it looks. This is the inner part. The center one is the old airport and the white one is the new airport. This is the Hyderabad airport which you have installed. 45,000 square meter. This is the Eden Gardens over here. 14,000 square meter. This is the Lucknow airport. Delhi airport also we have installed. This is the Nasik airport. This is also 120 meter long sheets. The first sheet, the grey color, which you see is 120 meters. Here we have used zinc on the fascia because zinc is more softer. It can be bent easily. So we've used a flat, instead of using the roofing sheet, which has got a seam, we've used 100% zinc on the fascia, which is more softer. So the flatness is achieved over there. This is another project which we have done, 60,000 square meter. Very complicated project. There are 4 buildings, we complete all the 4. This is how it looks by Google. That's the other building which you're showing. This is another Surat exhibition. This is how it looks from top. This is a Sitco. Here what I want to share is at the bottom, we have used a 3 meter decking on the bottom. The purlin spacing about 3 to 3.4 meters. So this is another trend in roofing. People go for, we're designing an exhibition center with 6 meter span with no purlins in center. So we use a deck and then you use an insulation, then you use a top roof. So this is what we've used, about 3 meters. This is again another project. Yeah, this is another project, 120 meter height we're doing the roofing. This is for Tower and TCS. Very complicated job because height is more, here the design was very high requirement they had. So we had to design the roof for that. It's just not just a standard roof based on the wind uplift and everything. So this is how the roof is on top. There's another project in Delhi, Jaguar, bathroom fittings. Again, very high-end roof. Now this is one new thing which you see. This is the green roof on a metal roof. This is what we are doing for a job in Pune. So this is how it's supposed to be. And this is how it is. The installation is going on right now. So this is a green roof also. We can do on metal roofs. This is again a zinc roof. This is Umicore office in Goa. Again zinc, 100% zinc. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sethi. In fact, it was a very interesting presentation. Unfortunately, we have limited time. So, in fact, you have really raised or highlighted the latest trends, and luckily we have got several galvalume producers now, and color-coated galvalume is a really feature, and I think there is a lot of scope in the years to come. So I think without spending much time on this, let us have a few questions before we break for lunch. So I think now house is open for question and answer, please. Yeah, Mr. Pung.
India Lead Zinc Development Association. You did want some help from the zinc industry. Let me just give one or two suggestions. One was that aluminium foundry, Shriram pistons. Instead of coated zinc coated steels, you could have gone for color coated steels for the roofing. Or many times people go for galvanized sheets followed by epoxy coating or chlorinated rubber coating, etc. for very aggressive or acidic or chloride atmosphere, etc. And shall I finish? Then I'll listen to you. That was number one. And number two, you also talked about this Petro project in Jaipur, where you said why go to Pune all the way to get the rebars galvanized. Jaipur, there is KEC, Kamani Engineering Corporation, the largest galvanizing bath there, but they're busy with a lot of orders from power grid and export orders for the next 5 years. They wouldn't like to do rebar. But the other galvanizers in Jaipur, Man Structurals, Kalpataru in Gandhinagar, not very far. In Baroda, there are some big galvanizing baths. We could have guided you. We would like to guide you. Point number three, the Baha'i temple you talked about. 1980s, I worked with them very closely. And what you said was right. They wanted to have a monumental structure, 200 years life, no rust stain, no concrete cracking, weeping, etc. So we copied the model of Sydney Opera House, very similar structure, got it galvanized locally. I do remember my days. Hindustan Zinc used to come with us, and it was a first-time job, batch galvanized. We didn't bother about the cost those days, but today, continuously galvanized rebar. Frank Goodwin is going to talk in the afternoon. That's going to come in a big way. And 1980, we did a lot of project seminars with Hindustan across the country. That's how all those applications, Madhusudan, you showed, JNPT, Mangalore Guest House, Sabarmati. And yesterday in my presentation, I was showing the latest structures in Mumbai, 22-story, using galvanized rebar. A project in Vizag, NTPC, using galvanized rebar. So we would like to share with both of you. It is time for the zinc industry to aggressively promote galvanized rebars. Once again, because galvanized rebars are not readily available. You have to buy from somebody, steel mill, send it to a galvanizer, get it galvanized, and the second transportation will be to the site. It's multiple transport handling. So we have to make it available, readily available in Loha Mandi, popular sizes, popular diameters, or probably we have to locate galvanizing plants in big projects like irrigation dam, infrastructure project. Otherwise, the transport is the biggest bottleneck. Thank you.
Thank you. May I just concern, we have done the second and third phase. Unfortunately, we tried all the solutions which you have suggested, including thicker galvanizing sheet, epoxy coating, color coated, because we are, as consultant, probably we're the first user of color coated sheeting in India way back in 1994. I think he's present here. He will vouch for that. So, I'm in a big way into it, color coating and and the improvement of color coating with Tata Blue Scope and everything. I think they will also tell. So we have not been able to find a correct solution, even in spite of the fact that it's 14-meter high. It's not only the roofing, we have problem with the flooring because the temperature is also high. The spillage is 600-degree temperature and all that. That's a different problem. So the problem was there. So we tried and tried. So the second phase, when he came in Bhiwadi, so we switched over to concrete with the galvanized steel and more structural cover to it. Instead of 25 millimeter cover, we went for 40 millimeter cover. And that's how we are existing, that's number one. And that project has been successful. But I'm still not happy, but we could have, because 14-meter high concrete roofing is not an easy solution. It took us months to construct that. So that's number one. Second one is about the galvanized bath. Now this Partha project has been awarded to L&T. And there are many other contenders, including Sapurji and other things. They are the leading contractors in the country. And they all tried hard and hard. And the name you mentioned is Jaipur and Bajaj and all that. They are heavily booked, in infrastructure like, this electrical poles and high mast and everything. So they don't have time for buildings as yet. And that's the fact. None of them. And so you are back to Belmont and Pune. So we are trying there. So, the transportation cost will be, transporting the steel double. So we'll have to request L&T to procure the steel somewhere very close by. And then transport only once, not twice. That's the second one. The third one was, I think, what was it? The third one? Bahai Temple, yeah. Bahai Temple, I fully endorse that, what you are saying that, but I think the principle is all iconic structures, particularly shell structures, they are thin structures. They are never more than 12, 13, 14 centimeters or 15. There. Because here the Bahai, because they were little, at that time, they're not sure about the Indian conditions and other things. Cement. Cement is also a problem in India, with Portland, pozzolan cement and all that. We don't know what the fly ash is. The ESP never works in thermal power stations. So we might have chloride, we might have sulfate and all that. So that's the problem. So to counteract that, I suggest, very strongly recommend that all iconic, all important structures in the codal requirement should be an important factor, or there should be a factor that they must be galvanized to enhance the life from X to X plus Y. And that's it. If there is a codal requirement, with the importance factor, see, half the structures in India are designed as important structures, where there is an importance factor of 1.5 or 2 as far as earthquake design is concerned. So why not with that, you have a requirement of galvanized steel, galvanized rebars, and that will go a long way to enhance the life of the iconic building.
Thank you, Mr. Nandi. Any other question, please?
Yeah, I have a question to you. You covered all the aspects of roofing system. My question to you is, India has 6,500 railway stations, and these stations basically they are covered with the asbestos roofing. So what is the modern day roofing trend in this railway retrofittation or renovation of the railway stations? Mr. Shetty, are the stations going for galvanum roofing, or still they are being replaced by asbestos sheeting?
Actually, we had tried very hard to change those roofing system, but the attitude of the people of the railways are not changing, because what happened, it's a problem for them also to use a high-end roof because of the budget. So what happens is that they're changing to galvanized, galvanum roofing now, but they're not putting a system on the roof. So what is happening? They just say galvanum roofing, and the lowest quality of galvanum roofing is used in the stations. Now, if they use a clip-on system on the stations, then the life and the looks become very nice. I've seen a lot of these metro stations also, where people are using screw-down system and it looks like an industrial shed. But if you see abroad, all the metro stations, it's a monument itself. If you go to Dubai Metro or anywhere. So right now they're rooming asbestos not on a very fast thing, but whatever new they're using is galvanum roof. But there are a lot of companies who use to manufacture cheaper galvanum also. They don't use a Tata BlueScope or a Jindal, the Jindal galvanum, which has got a licensee. So what happens then again the problem becomes the same, because if you use a bad paint on the galvanized roof, then they start fading. If you use a polyester paint. So the specs put in is not very strong in the metro stations, in all the stations. So they're changing from asbestos to galvalume. I've seen a lot of stations go in, but I think they should make it look very nice. That's more important, in a station. Thank you.
I just want to put a point here that, this also requires a regulation. We, somewhere at some point of time, we also have to, educate the Ministry of Environment and Forest that, what is banned, what is not banned across the world. So asbestos roof, so a lot of multinationals are there who have actually banned the usage of the asbestos, and it's a big pity that in the country still a lot of manufacturing of the asbestos roofing is going on. This is one of the simplest things what we have to specify. And the ministry should also come out with certain regulations that how the country is going to behave from now on.
I am Ashutosh from DMRC. I have two questions. One from Prashant. Your company has completed around the entire stretch from Dwarka to that line. So I would like you to comment on the aspect that how the galvanized steel is, on the cost aspect especially, that how the replacement is possible with some on the ground of replacing that epoxy with galvanized steel. And second, from Madhusudan, that the use of galvanized rebars in underground stations. As of now, we are mostly relying on the cover to protect our walls of underground station. So how can you give some option to rely on the durability aspect on galvanized steel bars, so that the life of structure is protected? Thank you.
Almost all the stations which we did are painted. These are not galvanized. Even the purlins are painted, let me tell you. And to change it at this stage, it's a bit difficult task. I mean, it is practically not possible. But we did Bangalore Metro, where all the purlins, the secondaries, purlin and girds are galvanized. So, and as I said, the time is not far when even those primary members, now what is that? The primary, secondaries, and the sheeting. The sheeting is basically galvalume. The secondaries are galvanized. It is only the primary structures which are painted, epoxy painted. And the upcoming, the metro has to actually specify, and the consultants have to basically prescribe this, specify that, and very well it can be done.
No, I'm more concerned about the new station coming up.
If it is specified, why not? Everybody can do it.
And how much is the, I don't think it is a big cost.
As far as the cost is concerned, it is not the cost which matters. It is not the cost, it is basically the location, the galvanizing of the 8 meter or 9 meter kind of thing. The length of the built-up members are quite large, 8 meters member. How to do it galvanized, that is one thing we have to see. And the transportation, because the facilities from where we produce and the facilities where the location of the facilities where galvanizing is there is not exactly it is there. It is quite far. So your transportation cost is very high. But there's no harm. If it is specified, we can very well do it.
May I just clarify the cost part?
Yes.
It's a rebar, I think I mentioned it's about 1%. And that's the enhancement of cost. And if it's structural steel, it's around 1.8 to 2%. And that's it.
But I actually don't agree with 1 to 2%. Actually, the total facility you put up in the building is a much, much higher cost. You must compare it with the percentage of total facility which is put up in the building. Let's suppose the people are sitting. You must calculate the cost of the people. You see the Chennai building has collapsed. Maybe one of the major reason could be, you know, the stability of the structure was not there because over the time, maybe the steel bars have corroded, they have cracked the concrete, and ultimately the building has given away. So what is the value of life if we compare the 1% cost with what is the total facility in the building plus the safety? Safety, I think, is the prime, and we should put it at the front, and we should say whether you want to compromise the life of the people or not. Let's suppose he is talking about the prefabricated structure. Over, you know, in the country, how many people are using the painted structures? How many people are involved in repainting the structures? And if you collect the data, I think hundreds and thousands of fatalities in this country are happening because people are climbing the structure to repaint the structure, and there are not proper harnesses, not proper trained people. Those places are not the right places that people have to climb up and paint the structure. So a lot of people are dying. Next, let's suppose the roofing is there and, you know, the roofing is corroded. I myself have seen in the industrial environment when the people have gone to the roof, the person is dropped down from the roofing. What are we doing? So it should be also thought from the point of view of humanity and the safety, that how many people are we are killing every year.
I think we are diverting ourselves, you know, because he had a specific question to Mr. Madhusan, and the question was that what is the cost enhancement, you know.
No, question is...
With that respect, I think the first answer he had given, that you must get yourself to designing and galvanizing steel. And what is the cost difference between the normal painted structure, you know, and the galvanized structure?
Let me make it more clear. We are depending upon the concrete cover to protect our steel in our underground station, mostly. So how this can be replaced by the use of galvanized bar? That is specifically, I want you to comment on.
Galvanized bar.
Yeah.
I think mostly I'll answer the second part of the question that you had asked regarding whether the galvanized rebars can be used. It's not a straight cut answer. I would say that yes, I need to get into the specification to check whether that flexibility was there. If you're given a black steel and you're giving an option of galvanized steel, naturally I wouldn't opt for it because it's expensive. So unless it's built in the specification, I wouldn't go for it, number one. Number two, if you're telling only substructure, it should be used, and superstructure should not be used. You're using a normal one. Again, the insulating member, everything should be thought of. So the specification and regulation has to come in line with that. So I cannot say a clear-cut answer that why I didn't use, it's not specified.
I just want to say, just want to say one thing. Basically, you're the client. How long you want the building to last and how long you want maintenance free. If you put down that, then automatically galvanized painting comes into the picture. You understand? It is what you want. If you say, I want a station to last for 100 years and I don't want to maintain it for 100 years, then the specs comes in automatically. So it is up to the client. If you say painting karna hai, to we will paint only. But if you say the life should be 100 years, you know, then we will say no, we will use galvanized and we'll add it to our cost and give it to you. So it all depends on what you say. So building is designed based on that. That is what is important. So if you want 100 years, maybe you have to copper painting or whatever I'm just saying, or we have to use aluminum structure, I don't know. But if you say this is what I want lasting, the building should be maintenance free for 100 years, then I think galvanized will automatically come in. That's what
Right, I have to interfere here because we are running slightly behind time. May I request Mr. Duggal for the concluding remarks for the session today?
No, I think we had a subject where we wanted to go on and on. Maybe if you will extend the session till evening also, because this is some subject which is a fundamental subject where the people want to think that what safety they want, what durability they want, what life they want, what are the different options, easier options which are available. I think we had a wonderful session. We can have many more things to discuss. I also have my own viewpoint, but I don't want to extend the session. Thank you very much for participating in such an interesting and the participative session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. May I now request our chairpersons to present the memento to our speakers First, I request Dr. ACR Das to present the memento to Mr. S.K. Nandi. Let's put our hands together as we have the mementos being presented. Big round of applause, friends. Big round of applause. We now have the memento for Mr. R. Madhusudan. Dr. Das, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Das, for doing the honors. May I now request Sunil sir to present the memento to Mr. Prashant Ranjan. A big round of applause as we have the memento. Sunil sir, one more memento to Mr. Vijaynath Shetty. Sir, thank you. Thank you so much for all your inputs on the roofing systems. Indeed, very interesting. Thank you. Thank you, Sunil sir, for doing the honors. May I now request Mr. Soumitra Das from IZA to join me on the stage as we present the memento to our chairpersons. Welcome, Mr. Das. Good afternoon. And first, we'll be having the memento for Dr. ACR Das. Sir, thank you so much for all your inputs. Thank you for leading us through this session. And we'll now have the memento for Sunil sir. So once again, thank you. Thank you very much. So friends, at this hour, I would like to apprise you that we have sent across feedback forms to you. May I request you to fill the same, and our volunteers shall come to you and get it collected. And as we break for the lunch, we'd like to apprise you that we have some very exciting and very interesting perspectives coming forward for galvanizing and new avenues that lie therein, be it the material challenge or the continuous galvanized radars, rebars, panel discussion, the case study, everything for you, and we hope you all will be enjoying it. So on that note, with the permission of the chair, we...
Sure. So since this conference was organized by your esteemed organization, so what's your experience about your conference?
To date?
Both of the days.
Well, I think the conference has been absolutely excellent. The speakers have been superb, the audience has been superb, and the subject matter is very pertinent to the future investment for India, because I think what we're talking about here is how do you protect and make sure the investments that are being made for infrastructure or automotive are going to last a lot longer and be good for the consumer and be good for the taxpayer. And this is all what we're about here, is making sure that that steel, which corrodes and rusts in a climate like in India because of all the salt in the water and the coastlines, that the steel will last a lot longer and make buildings last longer.
So how do you plan it for further conferences? Like obviously you have made this conference a very well established, and so how do you plan it for further?
Well, I think that we've done a survey of all the participants to find out if they want to have this conference next year or they want it every other year. But I can tell you my opinion is that I think the subject matter is so important, and you can see by the number of questions that are being asked that we need to hold this conference soon, very soon.
And so how do you find the management by Black Riders? Event management company.
I think I attend many conferences around the world, and maybe 10, 15, 20 a year. This has been the best, without a doubt, organized conference for the whole setup, particularly for the AV-TV side of things. In fact, we will probably look to talk to you people about how do we institute this for some of our other upcoming conferences in the world. So, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent, and I think it really highlights to people like myself the great talent and culture that's here in India. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Good to know, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
okay.
thank you, sir.
Oh, madam.
That's okay, sir.
Yeah.
So the first question which I'm going to ask you is whether since this conference has been organized for the first time by IZA, so what are your views about it? How did you find it? Like, what's the experience?
Well, if it is for the first time, then I think it has been organized very well and very professionally organized, and I think it's a very good beginning. and zinc awareness is a must for people. As we were discussing about using zinc in buildings, it is straight away goes to safety, because if you use zinc on the buildings, then the life of the building is more and the safety concern is more. Right? Nowadays you see a lot of people dying because of building collapsing. That is because the steel gets weak and the building collapses. So if you use zinc on the buildings, which we are trying to focus on, I think that will be a very good thing over here. So this conference, I think, has done a good start, and I'm sure it will do well in the future also. That's what is there. Thank you.
So, has this conference benefited to you and your esteemed organization?
Not really. I've just made a few new friends right now. So I was here only for 2 hours. So benefit means I could present my company to the people, all the delegates who have come over here. So I think maybe it will help me in the future. A lot of airport authority people, metro, railway people have all come. So I'm definitely sure that it might benefit in the future. Yeah.
And so, how did you find this the management overall?
Overall, the management was superb. I think very nice, very well organized, very classy. I think they have not done, in Hindi, the confusion nahi kiya unhone. So, very good LEDs and all that put, it is very essential. Normally, a conference has become very dull and people tend to sleep and all. So that is very nicely done. I think everything is well organized. Yeah.
Great, sir. So, would you like to give any feedback for any further conferences or any future conferences?
Only one thing is that give us some time to get prepared, because when I came in, I didn't know the exact focus of what was to be told. And I just could manage my presentation today morning, because every time I spoke to the concerned person, it was changing. So that is what was there. They should give us more notice. Of course, this is the first time. I think there was no faults anywhere I could find out. I think they should keep it up and call some more architects if possible. Yeah, because in the end, the people who present, they want to get benefit out of it. So if we get benefit only if